Let me begin with a quiet truth. Some men are born to walk a path that isn't lit, not because they can't walk with the crowd, but because something in their nature quietly refuses to. If you've ever looked around and felt like you didn't quite fit, if the noise of the world felt too shallow, too scripted, too performative, and if your silence wasn't out of fear, but out of discernment, then this message is for you. This isn't about trends. This isn't about buzzwords. This is about you and the subtle, often misunderstood nature of the Sigma male. Let's not define it with cliches. Oh, and by the way, I've got something very special for you. Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. It's an ebook that contains the forbidden secret knowledge that will turn you into the man others fear and respect. Warning, this will be deleted soon. The elite don't want you to see this. Grab it in the description section or pinned comment below. Let's explore it with depth. 1. You value solitude over attention. While many chase the spotlight, you've always gravitated toward the shadows. Not because you're hiding, but because that's where clarity lives. The Sigma male does not fear loneliness. He seeks solitude, not to escape others, but to understand himself. You may have found peace in long walks, books that made you feel less alone, or late nights spent thinking instead of speaking. You are not antisocial, you are selectively social. And that difference alone makes the world misunderstand you. In solitude, you don't lose energy, you recharge it. And from that quiet place, you grow into a man who does not need to be seen, to see everything clearly. 2. You walk your own way, even when no one follows. There's a strength that comes with being alone. Not the loud, aggressive kind, but the calm, steady, unshakable kind. While others seek validation, you often move in silence, not because you don't care, but because you don't need the approval of a crowd to feel whole. Maybe you've chosen a different career path. Maybe your values don't align with those around you. Maybe you've lost friends simply because you refuse to betray your own compass. This isn't arrogance, it's independence. The Sigma male walks alone not out of pride, but because his inner voice is louder than the noise of the world, and sometimes solitude is the only honest place left. 3. You observe more than you speak. While the world rushes to speak first, you've always known, the wisest man listens longest. Sigma males are natural observers. They watch, they notice, they read people. Not to judge, but to understand. You've likely been in situations where you said little, but walked away knowing everything you needed to know about the room. Who was insecure? Who was hiding something? Who was performing? This is not manipulation. This is perception, and it makes you powerful in ways most never see coming. Because in a world addicted to noise, the man who masters silence becomes a mystery they can't ignore. 4. You are not easily controlled. If there's one thing society cannot stand, it's a man who refuses to be predictable. Sigma males do not bend easily to rules, trends, or shallow traditions. You do not rebel for attention, you resist quietly. You choose your principles not because they're popular, but because they are yours. This shows up in small ways. Maybe you refuse to follow empty routines. Maybe you question orders instead of blindly obeying them. Maybe you've said no when everyone else said yes, and walked away without needing to explain yourself. They call you distant. They call you defiant. But the truth is, you are simply free, and nothing terrifies a system more than a man who cannot be manipulated. 5. You connect with women differently. Women may be drawn to you without fully understanding why. There is something in your calm, your detachment, your presence, that feels different. You don't chase, you don't play games, you don't need to prove your worth through empty gestures. Because Sigma males don't see women as conquests. They see them as individuals. They listen with intention, speak with purpose, and walk away without bitterness if the connection lacks truth. That's what sets you apart. You are not trying to be liked, you are trying to be honest. And that rare energy is magnetic, because it's something the world is starved of. 6. You've felt misunderstood for most of your life. Here's a secret no one tells you. When you refuse to wear a mask, the world gets uncomfortable. You've probably been labeled too serious, too intense, or too distant. Not because you are, but because your stillness reveals everyone else's noise. You've walked through life carrying questions no one around you could answer. You've searched for meaning while others chase distractions. And sometimes that path has felt isolating. But let me tell you this, being misunderstood is not a weakness, it's the cost of clarity. And clarity is what most people spend their whole lives avoiding. So if you've always felt like you're playing by a rule book no one else can see, you might just be a Sigma male, and you're not alone. You're just ahead of your time. If you saw yourself in these words, even just a little, then understand something deeply. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand still in a world that never stops moving, to question where others obey, to observe where others react, and to choose solitude when the crowd feels hollow. This isn't a label. It's not a trend. It's an invitation to own the quiet power that's always been within you. You don't need to become a Sigma male. You already are one. You just needed someone to remind you. So, walk your path and let the world wonder how you did it. Without ever asking for permission, if something in this video spoke to you, if it felt like someone finally described what you've been quietly living all this time, then don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button. This channel is for the few who walk the quiet road, for the thinkers, the ones who don't fit because they were never meant to.